Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Dr. Emma Blake, urology and men's health expert, and today we're talking about something that can genuinely upgrade your intimate experiences. We're going deep on specific natural powders you can place directly on your tongue about 30 to 60 minutes before intimacy to support blood flow, stamina, and firmness. Use thoughtfully. These can help you feel confident, responsive, and present with your partner. Before we start, make sure you're subscribed and have notifications on so you don't miss practical, evidence-based tools like this. Yes, the title is bold because timing and method really matter here. We're not talking about slow, month-long routines today. We're talking about targeted on-the-day strategies you can deploy when it counts. The idea is simple: sublingual and oral mucosal absorption. When a fine powder sits on your tongue or under it, the active compounds contact richly vascular tissue and can enter your bloodstream faster than if they had to survive the digestive gauntlet first. That often means quicker onset and more predictable effects. Think of this as an acute support kit you can reach for when you want a great night to feel like a great night. Let's start with the most consistently useful option in this category: L-Citrulline. L-citrine is an amino acid your body converts to l'arginine, which is then used to generate nitric oxide, the tiny signaling molecule that tells smooth muscle in blood vessel walls to relax. When those vessels relax, blood flow improves, and in penile tissue that translates to easier onset and better maintenance of firmness. Why L-citrulline instead of l'arginine itself? Counterintuitive as it sounds, oral L-citrulline tends to raise blood l'arginine more reliably than l'arginine does because l'arginine is rapidly broken down in the gut and liver. L-citrulline bypasses much of that first pass loss and converts gradually, producing a smoother and more sustained rise. Clinical studies in men with mild erectile difficulties have shown improvements in erection hardness and satisfaction with L-citrine, and endurance research repeatedly finds benefits for perceived fatigue and exercise performance, all of which map nicely to sexual stamina. How to use it for an on-demand effect? Place about 3 to 6 grams of pure L-citrulline powder on your tongue. Let it partially dissolve for 30 to 60 seconds. Then swallow with water. The bit that dissolves can absorb through the mouth. The rest will absorb enterally. Take it 30 to 60 minutes before intimacy. Many men report easier arousal, fuller rigidity, better maintenance, and more second wind capacity. The taste is neutral to slightly bitter. You can chase with a sip of water or a splash of unsweetened juice if you prefer, but direct tongue contact is your fastest route. Quick note for those who prefer a clean food-based option. I also use our organic watermelon extract, naturally rich in L-citrulline, made in the USA. It's linked for you in the pinned comments. Next up is beetroot powder. This one surprises people until they remember that athletes have been using beet juice for years. Beetroot is rich in dietary nitrates, which your body converts to nitric oxide through an oral-to-system pathway distinct from the citrulline/l'arginine route. Using both routes together can offer additive support. One pathway from amino acids, one from nitrates. Beetroot has a robust research base for lowering blood pressure modestly, enhancing endothelial function, and improving exercise efficiency by reducing the oxygen cost of effort in sexual function. That can translate into better pelvic blood flow, easier achievement of firmness, and greater staying power. For an acute effect, place about 1 to 2 tablespoons of high-quality beetroot powder on your tongue. Let it mingle briefly with saliva. Then swallow with water about 45 to 60 minutes before intimacy. Here's a pro tip most people miss. Swish the beet powder slurry around your mouth for 20 to 30 seconds before swallowing. Friendly oral bacteria begin the nitrate to nitrite conversion right on your tongue, which primes the downstream production of nitric oxide. The taste is earthy sweet and very tolerable for most people. Expect onset a touch slower than L-Citrulline, but with a synergistic feel when used together. Third in the lineup is maca root powder. Maca is a Peruvian root used traditionally for energy, fertility, and libido support. Modern studies suggest maca can increase sexual desire in men and women, enhance perceived well-being, and in some trials support erectile function without materially changing serum testosterone, which implies central brain and mitochondrial energy mechanisms may be at play. Color varieties matter a little. Black maca is often favored in men for performance and fertility endpoints. Red maca is discussed for prostate balance. Yellow MKA is most common and still helpful. For an acute pre-intimacy use, place 1 to 3 teaspoons of MKA powder on the tongue. Let it partially dissolve, then swallow with water or blend into a small, not too heavy smoothie. Aim for 60 to 90 minutes before intimacy. Maca is not as fast as L-Citrulline, but it often layers on noticeable desire, mood, and energy. A drive plus stamina effect many men appreciate. Fourth, let's talk pine pollen powder. Pine pollen contains small amounts of plant-derived androgens and a spectrum of vitamins, minerals, amino acids, and flavonoids. The human data are limited compared to citrine or beetroot, but tradition and user reports point to subtle increases in vitality, mood, and readiness. It's also described as adaptogenic, meaning it may help your body smooth out stress responses. For sublingual use, place 1 to 2 teaspoons of pine pollen powder under the tongue. Hold for 60 to 90 seconds, then swallow with water about an hour before intimacy. Expect a mild piney taste and a gentle lift rather than a dramatic surge. Think of it as a supportive co-pilot in a stack, not the main engine. Fifth, horny goat weed powder specifically standardized for Aryan content. Icariin is a flavonoid with mild phosphodiesterase 5 inhibitory activity, the same enzyme target as certain prescription ED medications, though far weaker. By nudging cyclic GMP signaling upward in erectile tissue, icariin can help sustain relaxation of smooth muscle and maintain blood inflow. For an acute approach, choose a powder standardized to around 10 to 20% of icariin. Place about 1/2 to 1 teaspoon on your tongue 30 to 60 minutes before intimacy. The taste is distinctly bitter. Follow promptly with water or a small splash of juice. Effects where noticed tend to be modest but real, and they combine well with nitric oxide-oriented ingredients like L-Citrulline and Beetroot. Now for those who want a simple, repeatable performance stack that covers multiple mechanisms without being overcomplicated. Here's a clean formula I like for occasional use. Mix 2 teaspoons of L-Citrulline powder, 1 tablespoon of beetroot powder, and 1 teaspoon of maca powder. You can pre-blend a few servings and store them in a small airtight container. About 45 to 60 minutes before intimacy, place the mixture on your tongue in 1 or 2 small portions. Let each sit for 30 to 60 seconds, then swallow with water. The beet's natural sweetness tempers the citrine bitterness and the malty note from maca, so the flavor is quite workable. This 3-way stack supports immediate and sustained nitric oxide availability, vascular relaxation, mental and physical energy, and desire. The big 4 pillars of performance. Most men describe the effect as noticeable but natural, which is exactly what we want. Timing matters. For L-Citrulline, 30 to 60 minutes typically works well, with many feeling a peak between 60 and 90 minutes. For beetroot, allow 45 to 60 minutes to let the nitrate pathway spin up. For maca, 60 to 90 minutes is a good window given its broader central effects. If you're stacking, aiming for the 45 to 60 minute mark before intimacy usually yields an overlapping peak. A few practical optimizers. Avoid a large, heavy meal right before you take these. A full stomach can blunt absorption and make you feel sluggish. A light meal a couple of hours prior is ideal. Hydrate well during the day and sip a glass of water when you take the powders. Vascular function loves hydration. If you enjoy culinary experiments, a tiny pinch of black pepper in a mix can enhance absorption of certain phytonutrients via piperine. And a small amount of healthy fat, for example, A few nuts can aid uptake of fat-friendly compounds, though do keep pre-intimacy meals light. Safety questions I hear often. For most healthy men, these powders are well tolerated at the doses discussed. If you have cardiovascular disease, take blood pressure medications, use nitrates for chest pain, are on anticoagulants, or have chronic health conditions, talk to your clinician first. L-Citrulline and Beetroot can lower blood pressure modestly. That's typically beneficial, but in combination with antihypertensives, could be too much for some. Start low. Assess your personal response and don't combine with prescription PDE5 inhibitors unless your prescriber has cleared the stack. Side effects are usually mild when they occur. L-Citrulline can cause transient GI discomfort in sensitive people, especially at higher doses. Titrate up gradually. Beetroot may tint urine or stool pink-red buria. It's harmless, but don't be surprised. Maca can feel a touch stimulating for some. Again, start with the low end of the range. Horny goat weed's bitterness is the biggest hurdle. Standardized products help with consistency. A quick word on expectations. These are not magic wands and they won't overcome seriously compromised vascular health by themselves. They work best as accelerators layered onto solid fundamentals. Regular movement, strength training twice weekly, a diet rich in greens, beets, pomegranate, and healthy fats. Smart stress management. And 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Those pillars raise your baseline. The powders give you an extra nudge when you want it. Speaking of fundamentals, here's a simple week you can repeat to keep your system primed. Walk briskly or cycle for 30 minutes 5 days a week to condition your endothelium. Add 2 full-body strength sessions to improve insulin sensitivity and testosterone support. Eat a big salad with nitric greens and a side of roasted beets or a pomegranate bowl 3 to 4 days a week. Hydrate to clear urine, pale straw. Keep alcohol modest and avoid smoking entirely. Nothing undermines erectile tissue like tobacco. If performance nerves creep in, use your breath. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7, exhale for 8, repeat 4 times. This dials down sympathetic tone and frees up blood flow. During intimacy, stay present with sensation and partner cues rather than running mental scorecards. Your nervous system routes blood based on threat versus safety. Pleasure thrives in safety. Let's translate all of this into a clean action plan you can try as soon as your next date night. Step 1, pick one powder to test solo. L-Citrulline is the easiest starting point because it's well studied and reliably noticeable for many men. Choose a reputable pure L-Citrulline, not citrine malate, for this purpose. And on a light stomach, take 3 grams sublingually 45 minutes before intimacy. Note your experience. Onset, firmness, staying power, recovery. Step 2, after 2 or 3 trials, add beetroot on another night. Use 1 tablespoon sublingually 45 to 60 minutes prior with or without the citrine. Pay attention to how the combo feels versus citrine alone. Step 3, on another night, layer in 1 teaspoon of MKA 60 to 90 minutes before intimacy and see how mood, desire, and energy shift. Keep a simple notes app log so you're not guessing later. If you enjoy the trio, pre-mix the stack we discussed and keep 2 or 3 sachets ready. Most men find their personal sweet spot within a couple of attempts. The goal is not to chase maximal doses. It's to find the lowest effective amounts that give you a natural, confident experience. To wrap up, remember the philosophy that underpins everything on this channel. Sexual performance is cardiovascular performance, plus nervous system ease, plus authentic connection. These powders support the first 2. You and your partner create the third. When you align all 3, nights feel memorable for the right reasons. If this breakdown helped, hit like, share it with someone who could use a science-based nudge, and subscribe for more practical men's health guides. I'm Dr. Emma Blake. Take care of your circulation, your sleep, and your mindset. And let these tools work with your biology, not against it. I'll see you in the next